PAX West 2024 has officially concluded, and there is so much new information exclusively released. Today we're going over the events of PAX and the new gameplay for Secret of the Mimic. I just wanted to point out how big of a lot size FNAF had at PAX this year compared to last year's event. I mean, look at the size difference with Pokemon! The future of FNAF is in great hands. Steelwell Studio held an amazing event with some major announcements. I unfortunately was not able to attend PAX, but most like the majority of you, kind of listening in from other creators. Thanks to Coda on Twitter and through the Freddy Discord, I was able to obtain plenty of high quality photos. With that, let's get right into it. PAX West included some new amazingly detailed animatronic props created by the multi-talented Deregular Sauce. The puppet, definitely a personal standout for me, which according to Johnny Blox's video, would periodically play the music box sound and the eyes would light up to scare the audience. I wasn't able to find the jump scare moment, but here's a clip of the music box playing. There was an exact recreation of Caution Bot, which gives me Wall-E vibes and is absolutely adorable. I want one of my own. Here is a video showcasing the Caution Bot literally giving a hug. A surprise appearance from Roxanne Wolf. Now we both have Roxy and Glam Rock Freddy. Then finally, the reveal of the brand new clown character, presumed to be the Mimic, nicknamed Jackie, which we'll talk about later. There was a recreation of the FNAF movie gated up entrance towards the beginning of the event. Some props from Help Wanted 2, including the Faz Force figurine, which I want it to be real, Vanny's mask, and the Faz wrench make an appearance in an enclosed glass case. There was a ginormous statue of Freddy looking like the Funko model design. I'm very curious if Funko losing the rights, if Steelwell Studio was able to obtain it. I honestly have no legal idea how that works. A giant 10-year anniversary glam rock cupcake. A specially made arcade machine with ultimate custom night, which had to give some creators some PTSD. A machine testing your animatronic personality. Funny enough, Mr. Hippo gave you a second opportunity to get another animatronic. Very interesting. The claw machine from last year's event as well, with the Faz tokens included. A section designated to creating your very own paper pals. Look how happy they are. Finally, the security room booth area with cameras holding the new clown animatronic Jackie above people walking in, and of course the return of Eclipse. The most fascinating details came from this specific part of the event prior to playing the demo. A Fall Fest 1970 poster makes a return with other posters found in Security Breach. Definitely giving the vibes how important this next game will be with the current universe being set so far into the future. It's very interesting how all the new posters we received as well pertaining to brand new mascot characters we've never seen before. I can describe them individually later on in this video. I know this would be extreme speculation, but could this be the potential beginning of the mediocre melodies? These characters obviously come first if the game does take place in 1979. Or were these the first characters introduced within the circus? We're gonna have to wait and find out when the full game is released. Deregular Sauce shared up-close photos of the animatronics created for the event. Jackie having a speaker is very interesting to me. Between having speakers and a faceplate, it really digs into the fact that this could be potentially Afton's first iteration of the fun times. This would make sense with the overall circus theme, clearly leading to the creation of Baby. There is no clear indication if Jackie is the Mimic or not. She was featured mainly in the teaser trailer with glowing orange eyes. With Dalco's description of one of the games, The Chase, which features a decrepit Jackie ripping off her lower half being the Jack-in-the-Box, which makes sense why she's missing both her legs in real life. He describes Jackie being torn apart with glowing orange eyes, specifically during the chase. Here is a full description provided by Wheat and shared publicly from Entom on Twitter, or X, however you call it. I'm gonna go ahead and read through both descriptions of the games and even be able to play live audio from Jackie herself from the demo. Here we go. Really fast, this technically does contain spoilers of the gameplay featured at PAX. If you want to skip over, go to this time on the screen. Okay, and go. All right, the manager's office. You start out in a sort of dilapidated looking storage area. There's a closed gate in front of you with a machine with a missing piece next to it. You can't do anything with this just yet. If you go another way, there's a themed room filled with all sorts of gifts and party decor. The ruined elephant costume is there, but massive and clean. The employee watching my gameplay says it's one of their new characters. There's also a lot of other unidentifiable characters. The room is square, but a lot of these decorations form a barrier through the middle, so you have to go around it to the right. At the far right of the room is a big gift box with a big crank. If you crank it enough, Jackie pops out and says something. I can't remember due to the volume of the PAX crowd, and the crank pops off. Jackie just kinda idles after that in the fully springed out pose. You can use this crank in the slot in the wall to open the earlier blocked gate. Okay, so before we do continue, I do have the audio footage. I don't have the name off the top of my head right now, but I will obviously provide credit. So here's the audio. But if you progress past Jackie, the other half of the room continues. There's a locked door at the far end. The employee with me said that door was locked, but the lock itself was a weird downward sloped cylinder with two pin-pricked holes, like a Faz wrench input. This area is surrounded by cutouts of what seems to be knights and some slightly medieval theming. Interesting. Anyways, I love the way this is described. The crank opens the gate and you can crouch under it. You enter a long hallway. There's a ton of observation windows on the right to what almost looks like a heavily under construction atrium with multiple floors. Smaller than the Pizzaplex and more retro in construction, almost looking more like a dusty warehouse with how under construction and dilapidated it is. The left wall of the observation hall has a bunch of posters. I believe the Fredbears and or the Fall Fest posters might have been there, but so were posters for a few other mascots, specifically mascot attractions with different names that I cannot remember. One of the characters was green. That's all I remember. Continuing past that, you get to the manager's office. The manager is an upper half of a staff bot with a much more rustic and prototype-esque design. To an extent, think of the metal textures used for Ruin's mimic model. The whole thing was kind of a dark gray. The upper half is mounted onto a base with a bunch of rectangular buttons on it that the manager presses regularly as its idle animation. I don't believe it says anything to you. At the far back is a generator, which has a small VR minigame where you have to rev up the generator by pulling a pull cord on it a few times in succession. As you rev up the generator, Jackie's arms slink into the room. Oh, that's terrifying. I think it gets stuck on the door frame and ripped in half as it tries to get you. I don't recall if that happens yet, but the animation is extremely fluid, and this thing's big arms are basically going everywhere, trying to support its body. The manager turns around and either lets out a noise or says something. Again, PAX crowd, to which Jackie literally destroys it, slamming it to the floor and then throwing the manager at the wall next to you, breaking it open. You end the minigame by running through the hole and falling down a bit below the level of the room, and then the debris under you slowly falls apart until it gives way to a fall. Now, I'm not gonna go into obviously to full detail and kind of like in speculation of what I'm assume is going on, but Jackie is terrifying. And then especially ripping her bottom half of like the music, not the music box, but like the Jack in the Box. Oh wow, that's terrifying. Also, Jackie seems to be ginormous. All right, let's move on to the next game. The Chase. You're in a sort of utility tunnel area, not in the security breach way. Every now and then, through grating or behind pipes and such, you see Jackie moving around like a spider, barely visible. Oh my. And this is gonna be in VR too, just saying. You eventually come across a large open area with an elevator. Riding the elevator up, you see a vent near the walkway in front of you, and Jackie begins crawling out of it. The gate of the elevator opens and the chase begins, as you basically have to keep moving or you get killed, though it's not too hard. Every now and then, that's actually kind of funny because I think doesn't Darko like repeatedly die in this situation? Anyways, every now and then there's switches you have to pull, which opens doors ahead of you. Sometimes the switches are out of the way, so you have to be quick. Later on in the chase, Jackie erupts from the hallway in front of you. You pull a switch, smashing the door to this hallway down on top of Jackie's head, stopping them for a bit. Really well done animation this entire time, by the way. Doing a U-turn down another hallway, you come across a conveyor belt that's blocked and another generator minigame to get the conveyor belt started. Once it starts, it takes you into a vent. After enough crouching through the vent, eventually you fall through one of the panels where Jackie corners you. Your movement locks in place at this point and the demo ends on a cliffhanger. Okay, this is an amazing description. Thank you, Wheat, for providing this, and Tom for sharing. And I know, thank you. I don't know. And again, I don't want to go into heavy speculation. So before I start rambling on my words, let's just move on with the video. Steelwool Studio did not want the actual gameplay to be seen, and we have to respect that. The most intriguing part to me for PAX are the cameras. A lot of who played the demo stated the environment feels like a factory of some sort, or even a warehouse. In a couple of the camera shots, you can clearly see the carousel, which looks like it's being built. I wonder if this is a warehouse where everything related to Fall Fest is being held and or created. Several theories have also speculated how Fazbear started as a traveling circus. This is heavily implied still with all of Funko's merchandise with balloon and circus animatronics, which I personally do have, and still questioning what will happen with them in game. Also the playable glitched Balloon Boy arcade machine and security breach, which makes it seem like Fazbear is still hiding something, like always. I mentioned this because demo players have stated the suits from Ruin do make an appearance. It looks specifically like the elephant, according to John's video. Steelwool Studio also shared new posters with new mascot characters. I mentioned them a little bit ago, but here are the descriptions. Looks like we got a bee on a swing set looking absolutely terrifying, not gonna lie. Like, what is that smile? A new welcome poster with a hippo, 2 frogs, and a caterpillar playing music in the middle of the woods. A need a hand poster with what looks to me like a spider character with multiple arms. Would this be the start of Music Man? And finally, a coming soon poster with Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. PAX West seemed to be an absolute success. Steelwool Studio held an amazing event and looked like everyone was having such a fun time. I truly believe whoever went to PAX was going to be surprised with Help Wanted 2 DLC. Never in my mind did I actually believe the Secret of the Mimic would make an appearance in demo form and in physical form. This feels like a very different game than typical FNAF, and for everyone to be prepared for a brand new experience. Steelwool Studio did state this is an original nightmare, and with everyone's reactions, this is gonna be very scary. Expect to be surprised. One major detail to note, the death screen seems to almost have a film effect. I'm curious if this is going to be a found footage game, and if so, that's making me very excited. Thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoy content like this, let me know in the comments below. All right, that's all from me, so see you in the next one.